And with that being said, let's do it. Fifth and final game. Are you ready, Wolf?
I am so ready.
All right, well, this is it. Game 5 for the finals of the TeamSpeak Team Liquid Open number 11. Will it be Liquid TLO, our random player, or will it be White-Ra, our Protoss player? Game 5 is coming up next.
Link engaged.
All right, well, Shakura's Plateau is the map, as we mentioned earlier, Wolf. And if you've just joined us, this is the last game, the fifth and final game in a best-of-5 here for the finals of the TeamSpeak Team Liquid Open number 11. White-Ra will be spawning as the blue Protoss in the northeast position, or the 2 o'clock position, while his opponent, Liquid TLO, will spawn in the 7 o'clock as the purple Terran.
That is... This is going to be cross positions. I'm really hoping, like I said, for a long game, and this will probably be our chance to see one. Both players could decide to expand early and play really defensively. Of course, neither player really, at least if I were at the ace match of a best-of-5 series, I wouldn't want to all-in and have a really quick game, because, you know, whoever wins this qualifies for TSL3, and that is huge. That's prestigious. That's something that you really, really want to have happen. So I would try to play a very careful game. But at the same note, you can't play too greedy, too macro-oriented, because if you do that, then you can get overwhelmed by it all. And so it's very... This has got to be one of the most stressful moments of both of these players' careers up to this point, because this is a huge tournament. It's like bigger, you know, maybe than qualifying for Codex, because it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing almost. TSLs don't happen as often as GSLs, and it's really... just a great opportunity for both of these players, and this is a very, very stressful situation. I just want to stress how stressful it is, because I mean, if you win this game, you get in, and if you don't, you know, you don't necessarily, depending on how many points you get. So, really, really tough for both of these players.
Yeah, they have fought so hard to get to this point. You know, they started out at 8 a.m. my time this morning, so you know, I don't even know what time it is right now, but you can imagine, okay, these guys have been playing for about 9 hours today. Possibly even 10. So in the last game of a series, you got to imagine that, yeah, they're going to put everything that they can into this game. Now, we are seeing the scouts here by both players. We're going to have White-Ra scout the top position, realize the opponent's not there, as TLO will spot the cross position for him, realize his opponent's not there, and both players quickly realizing that, okay, we're cross positions right now. And for each race, that could mean something completely different. We do have barracks up and probe going in to check out what is going to happen here, but we'll find out real soon what route both these players are going to take, as the cybernetics core is down. And with cross positions, there's certainly a lot of different things to be said, but you know, I wonder for the Protoss, and of course having that warp gate utility, it can be real nice if you if you catch your opponent off guard.
Yeah, it absolutely can. Now, both players... Oh, TLO making a bunker down here on the low ground. Now, this is going to be the last thing White-Ra expects, although he is going to see it. I was going to say he would not expect to see this at cross positions, but it looks like he is going to pick off the SCV there, and TLO will cancel that as soon as he gets down to low hit points. Actually going to send his Marines back, but it was almost like he was going to try to all-in and catch White-Ra off guard, or at least contain him, because like you were talking about, like we were just saying, there is a possibility of rushes on this map, but with a long distance, especially when you're a Protoss player playing against a Terran player, you don't really expect to see something like that early on.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, with such far distances and the fact that you're going to scout different, hold on, here comes that Zealot, going to micro these Marines around. Come on, Marauder, do your job. Marauder getting no damage done in there, and do not think he has concussion shells. He does not, so it wouldn't have done his slow hit anyway, but he possibly could have maximized his damage there. Maybe even taken out that Zealot. It looks like White-Ra might expand here. He's got another Stalker out. He's getting a Sentry as well. And TLO with a pretty heavy Bioforce here for this point in the game. 5 minutes and 30 seconds. He's got a couple Marines and a couple of Marauders. Stim is about to finish. And so we could just see some ridiculously fast Stim push here by TLO.
He's also expanding behind it, so... And White-Ra going to throw down the Nexus, so both players expanding almost at the exact same time. Now this push is going to hit right when Stim finishes. That's going to be kind of tough for White-Ra to hold off, because his warp gates are just finishing. If he gets his forces caught off guard before they warp in, could be bad, but he's going to be on the force field here, and TLO actually going to be in trouble. He's going to lose all of these units. The SCV tanking a little bit of damage, but these Marauders going down so fast, trying to kill that Stalker because, of course, that's basically the only unit they could really kill there. Stalker survives, and perfect control by White-Ra.
Oh, what is he? What? Oh, he was trying to take out the Stalker and gave up another Marauder. I thought it was a misrally here. Now TLO with one Marauder heading back to his base, and then look. Oh my God, this is not good. This could be his worst nightmare right now. Is this single Marauders heading back to a base where a command center is being built? A second barracks is just completed. He's got Marauders coming out of the barracks on the tech lab, but just now we're seeing one more barracks go up about 50%, and the factory. We also see a bunker going down, but I am afraid it is going to be too late. White-Ra in a great position here. TLO, I don't think he should have thrown away these units. This would be a miracle if he can hold this off.
I can't imagine a world in which he does. He's going to at least have to let his command center go. He's going to try to make it into an orbital, which I think is a terrible choice. He's got to know a counterattack is coming, and he's going to try to make that bunker, but with sentries blocking repairs, he is going to lose this position he's in. He could have just waited and played it out, played a little bit safer, tried to get two bunkers at the top of his ramp, would have bought him a little bit more time. His combat shields are nearly done, they're not quite done. Just buy himself a little bit more time, get a few more units out to really be able to hold this off, because his production is up now. I don't know if he can do it. I mean, when the counterattack started from White-Ra, he only had one barracks out, and he had, like you said, like one Marauder and a second one on the way. And here comes the push!
This is not good. Marauders inside the bunker. The repair on the bunker is saved by a mule, and he's going to try to micro these units, but there are just so many Zealots. The Zealots just ripping through here. Beautiful force field by White-Ra as he stops all of these units from making their way back into the base. Mules going down, dying everywhere, and this has got to be it as this giant wall of Zealots just marches up for White-Ra and says, we're going to end it right here. Stalker's coming in to reinforce, taking out that orbital command, and Wolf, I think that this is unfortunately going to be a terrible end to TLO's journey here. He will be taking second place, with White-Ra unfortunately just squeaking that one extra one out, and it looks like he's going to try to use these Hellions to stop this, and maybe he'll stop this push, but I think that that is going to put him so far behind. There's still all these Stalkers down here at Wolf. I think this one's over.
Oh, I think it's over. It's sad for TLO, but we are going to see White-Ra in TSL 3 because TLO GG's. Awesome series. I think basically what ended up happening there was TLO, he overextended himself a little bit. He wanted to play a little bit more pressure-oriented. And the thing is, you know, a lot of Terrans don't realize this. I'm sure TLO does realize it, but he just wanted to take the risk. When you engage against a Pro S player who has a lot of sentries, there is no retreat. So when you go forward, you have to be very careful. You have to know you're going to be able to do damage. He tried to focus down a few of those Stalkers, lost a few Marauders that way, 2 sentries, and it was just not a good engagement for him. He should have, I think, in my opinion, lifted his command center immediately, bunkered up at the top of his ramp, got a few more units out to defend, and then sort of like pushed down and taken his natural. He would have found himself a little bit contained. Maybe he could have moved his command center down to the backdoor rock expansion area. Something like that, but trying to hold that was really, really greedy, and he thought maybe he could pull it off, maybe he won't counterattack me, but it was just too much.
Yeah, and I think once he sort of showed his bunker play earlier on, that was kind of like showing him that he didn't have much of a hand. He still kind of went on with the you know, his heavy attack. And unfortunately for TLO, White-Ra able to hold it off. And White-Ra wins like his 4th tournament in 3 weeks. This guy is just racking them up left and right. But as you mentioned, also getting a qualification spot. Excuse me, for the TSL 3. Of course, TLO will be earning a lot of points for a 2nd place victory. But yeah, that was quite an amazing best of 5 with White-Ra pulling ahead. Have to say, I think that last one was probably the weakest of the 4 or of the 5, but we just saw some amazing play by both of these guys throughout the semifinals and the finals that I can't really be standing here and complaining.